Jefferson County Court of Law number 2 is back in session. The court is in session. Cause number M 327-556. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Kimberly Michelle Borton. Let the record reflect that Ms. Kimberly Michelle Borton is present in court with her attorney Wright Kimber. Let the record also reflect that the state is present with assistant district attorneys, Attorney Andrew Hubel and Attorney Colby Hoffpower. State, are you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are you ready?
Ready.
Mr. Bailiff, would you please bring in the jurors? Yeah, everyone please stand. You may be seated. Let the record reflect that the court is back in session and cause number M 327-556. Case is styled the state of Texas versus Kimberly Michelle Borton. Let the record also reflect that Kimberly Michelle Borton is present in court with her attorney Wright Kimber. The state is present with assistant district attorneys, Attorney Colby Hoffpower and Attorney Andrew Hubel. Let the record also reflect that the jury is now present in the courtroom. State, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, are you ready to proceed?
Ready.
Mr. Hubel, you may proceed. You can call your next witness.
State calls Charles Golden.
Brother.
Golden, would you please come forward?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Golden, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Golden, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
You may put your hand down, and Mr. Golden, you can take a chair on the witness stand, and you can adjust the microphone as well. Mr. Hoover, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. Mr. Golden, if you could please introduce yourself to the jury.
My name is Charles Golden. I was formerly an operations manager at Academy. Now I work at Market Basket, Mauriceville, live in Orange.
So you're saying that you were formerly employed by Academy. Do you recall what location it was? Okay. And that is Port Arthur, Texas,
Yes, sir.
in Jefferson County, Texas.
Yes, sir.
And if you could just repeat what position you held.
Operations manager at the time.
And you were employed there as an operations manager in June of 2020.
That is correct.
Do you recall contacting law enforcement regarding an incident that occurred there in June of 2020?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And do you recall the nature of that event?
Yes, sir. It was a shoplifting incident.
Now, was that event captured by your security system?
Yes, sir, it was.
Did you review the video from that occasion?
I did.
And did any others review that footage?
Several others in the store and my loss prevention department did as well.
Was one of the individuals who also reviewed that footage Jennifer Quinn?
She was.
Um, Judge May I approach?
Yes, you may.
Permission to publish what has been offered and admitted as State's Exhibit 1.
Yes, you may.
You mentioned that there were loss prevention workers who also reviewed the video from this case.
It's from my corporate office.
And what are their usual roles and duties?
Mine,
Oh, the loss prevention officers, if you know.
I don't know all of their duties, but whenever we have incidents, we record camera times down on the form, send them to them. They cut the video for us and give them to the police department as requested.
Okay, so essentially anytime that y'all suspect that a crime occurs at your store and it's caught on camera, y'all would send it to loss prevention, and loss prevention would handle getting it sent to any law enforcement agencies?
Yes, sir.
If we could play the video that's marked as store entrance, the middle one in the file. You've previously reviewed this video, correct?
I have, yes, sir.
And just watch it once through. And from your prior review of the video and and what we've just watched now in court, can you describe what is on the video that's in State's Exhibit 1 marked as store entrance?
Yes, sir. Basically, Ms. Barton walks into the store, walks around the customer service area, picks up 2 Yeti coolers. I think they were Yeti hoppers. I don't remember that model for sure. Walked back to the end of the customer service, acted like she was looking at some sunglasses, and then circles back around when she thinks nobody's looking and walks out the door with them as a couple of our associates followed her to the parking lot.
So you immediately identified the individual that was depicted in this video as Ms. Barton.
Yes, sir.
What is that identification based on?
One, I had a couple of associates that followed her to the parking lot that saw her and had.
Objection here, sir. Objection here, sir.
Objection.
I'm objecting to identification if it's predicated on hearsay. That he's named the in-court identification if it's predicated on hearsay. But not personal knowledge. If his identification is predicated on what somebody told him, then it's hearsay.
Okay.
It's not a legitimate.
I'll
Hey, yeah.
retract that question and rephrase.
Okay, objection sustained.
Other than security instructor, this is already for the invitation. Then it's predicated on what's about those.
Did he make any in-court identification?
He referred to the person depicted on the video as Miss Martin, which what I would argue is an important identification.
There may, I intend to question President on his, personal knowledge and of, Ms. Barton, so. So that his in-court, identification is not solely based on his answer to the.
Okay.
question.
The court is gonna sustain its objection. The court is going to instruct the jury to disregard the response, the in-court identification of Ms. Boyd in response to, the previous question. You may proceed.
Okay. Based on your personal knowledge, meaning, what you've observed personally, how do you know, in your mind, who that individual is on the video?
From watching the video and seeing her numerous other times in my store.
So you have personal knowledge of, of this individual's, appearance,
Yes,
and you would identify that individual in the video
as Miss Barton.
Miss Kimberly Barton.
Yes, sir.
And is Miss Barton in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
And just to be clear, Ms. Barton, who you've also identified in the video, is in the courtroom today.
Yes, sir.
And can you identify her in the courtroom by an article of her clothing?
I mean, not by an article of her clothing, I just,
By that, I mean, can you describe something she's wearing?
the flannel shirt.
Will the record reflect that the witness has identified the defendant?
The record will so reflect.
You also identify, you also pointed out that that the individual identified as Kimberly Barton in the video. Took some items from the display, correct?
Yes, sir.
And those items, you identified them as Yeti coolers.
Yes, sir.
So do you, are you currently aware of what their value was at that time?
Roughly between $300 and $350.
With you being one of the managers of the store at that time, you were prior to her taking, you were in rightful possession of that property, correct?
That is correct.
We can go to the video mark store exit, which is the last one. And just to establish something else, you were the manager who made the report to police, correct?
That is correct, sir.
And good place to read it. Sorry. No, that you have the right video up. Just play it once more. Okay. So can you describe for me, for the record, what was depicted in that video?
Walking out of the store without paying for the Yeti coolers.
And who was doing that?
That was Miss Barton.
And are you aware of any of the security systems placed at the exit doors of your stores in the county?
It has an audio alert when somebody walks past with security tagged item on it.
And let's go to the last video, which is parking lot exit. Yes, sir. Oh, we need the VLC player. Can you see on the screen what area is depicted in this video? We may need the lights for this one.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty seeing.
Does that make it any clearer for you?
A little bit.
There's a screen behind you if you need it.
Does that area, does the area look familiar to you?
Yes, sir.
And-
Yes, sir, it's the parking lot outside our store.
Okay. And do you see an individual near the middle of the frame?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And does that individual appear to be carrying something?
Yes, sir.
Is that the individual that you previously identified as Kimberly Barton carrying out the Getty covers that she just did?
Yes, sir.
The store. Okay. Were you at the store that day when you said?
I was, yes, sir.
No, you did not immediately respond to this incident, correct?
That is correct.
At the time, were you doing something else?
Yes, sir. I was, at the time, I was setting up a boat and trailer for another customer on the side of the building.
Was this a busy time for y'all at the store?
Yes, sir. It was incredibly busy.
So with her walking to her vehicle, did she ultimately get away with the coolers that she grabbed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did it, and I know these are gonna sound like silly questions, but did it seem like she had any intent to come back and pay for those coolers?
No, sir.
In, again, silly question, but to be clear, no member of your staff gave Ms. Barton any type of permission to be able to take those coolers, right?
No,
They didn't
sir.
give her any kind of, nor would they.
That's correct.
Does your store have some sort of system for identifying repeat offenders? And by offenders, I mean people who have done bad acts on the property.
We have paperwork system that we use as well as what we give to the police officers. Copies of criminal trespass warnings and reports that we give police.
And was there such a tag or report for Ms. Barton?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you relayed this information to law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Golden. State has the witness.
Mr. Kimler, witness is yours.
Yes. Golden,
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What time period did you work for Academy in Fort Elton?
2007 to 2020.
13 years?
Yes, sir.
Why did you leave?
We got another job.
Better job?
I went to go try to sell cars.
Just a change?
Yes, sir.
June 19th of 2020, you were operations manager at Academy.
That's correct.
Who was your immediate superior?
Her name was Jennifer Beach.
And was she on premises or was she somewhere else?
No, she was on, I think, administrative leave at the time.
Okay, so on premises, you were the head person on June 19th of 2020 at Academy, or was there somebody above you?
There was nobody above me on premises. No, sir.
So you were in charge of the store, is that right?
Myself and another manager,
Who,
Jennifer Quick.
okay, so you were co-equals, I guess?
That's correct, sir.
You had a loss prevention officer.
Not on site.
Where was the loss prevention officer?
Our loss prevention people work in the corporate office. They don't work in the store.
So the video feed isn't to someone in the store?
I can look at the video feed and then I record the times and they record the video for me and send it to the police at a request to the police department.
So is somebody monitoring the video feed in real time? Or
No,
not?
sir.
Everything's just DVR and you can go back and look at it.
Absolutely.
You referred to a couple of associates that followed the individual into the parking lot, is that right?
That's correct.
What are their names?
One of them was Jerry Nichols. I'm not sure who the other one was. It's been a while.
Are they still employed at Academy?
I don't have the answer to that.
When did you leave Academy? What day?
August of 2020.
In August of 2020, were those two individuals still employed or not at Academy, to your knowledge?
I don't recall.
We just looked at the video where the individual who shoplifted the coolers is in the parking lot. You'd agree with me that there doesn't appear to be any associates or anyone else following that person?
They didn't leave the sidewalk. They were very close to the sidewalk. We're not allowed to follow them all the way out.
So they followed them, and did they exit the store or not? The
Yes.
associates, associates did exit the store,
Yes,
but didn't get off of the sidewalk.
very close to the sidewalk.
And that's not depicted in the video feed.
I believe I could see it at the end of that one, but I don't remember for sure.
See them depicted standing there.
Like I said, it's hard for me to see right here, but I believe when I reviewed the video earlier, I could see them there.
Well, I would take a look at that and see. I could ask him. I'll have to cue it up here real quick. Just tell me when you see the associates or if you do.
Okay.
There's
Right here,
one,
sir.
okay.
Right here, sir.
All right, that's one. Is there another one or? Yeah, there's the
Right there, yes, sir.
okay. So they're out there after the, it appears to be after the individuals in the vehicle. Maybe they were out there when they were walking towards the vehicle. You don't know?
I don't know the answer to what
Okay.
made them go out there, sir.
All right. Well, where they were they positioned? You know where they were positioned inside the store? Or not?
Mr. Nichols was actually working on the sunglass case as this incident happened. You could see him in the
All
camera
right.
when she entered the store.
So we can identify him inside the store. What about the other individual? The other associate?
I don't remember who that is.
And you said you were on the side of the building that day with a boat hitch or a boat trailer or something?
That's correct, yes.
So you didn't observe, make any personal observations of the person that shoplifted the food, is that right?
Not real time, no, sir.
You didn't lay eyes on them, is that right?
That's correct.
Your knowledge would be simply the review of the video.
Yes, sir.
But the two associates appear to at least have had some opportunity to observe the person in real time in person, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you don't know whether whereabouts today, right?
No, sir, I sure don't.
Did you review when did you first review the video surveillance footage of this incident?
I think it was 2 days later, I believe, but I don't remember that. I don't remember exactly.
Within a week?
2 to 3 days.
Within a week or so?
It was less than a week, yes, sir.
And with whom did you review it?
Myself and Ms. Quick, who was the
Who-
manager on duty that day, Ms. Jennifer Quick.
And who else?
I think Donald, another manager, was in there with me as well, and the police department when they arrived.
You remember Donald's last name?
Durrell,
Durrell?
yes,
And the video that you reviewed with those individuals, including the authorities, is the same video that's depicted in State's Exhibit 1 that we have here today? Is that
yes,
right?
sir.
Do you recall if there were any other videos or still photos that were reviewed in connection with this case by you or Ms. Quick or by the authorities or Donald or anyone else?
Not that I remember, sir.
So if there's been testimony that there were actually still photographs looked at with this that were enhanced, you would have no knowledge of that.
That's correct.
To your knowledge, were there any still photographs obtained, enhanced still photographs obtained?
Not to my knowledge.
So if there was representations to this jury that a person reviewed still photographs of the individual face that depicted facial tattoos, that would be incorrect?
Not that I know of.
Well, would you know of that, do you think?
I would have no way of knowing.
Was Ms. Quick ever present reviewing any of these materials without you, or do you know?
I don't know the answer to that. She did have access to the system, but I don't know.
Describe the system, if you would.
I mean, just about 25 cameras that feed into one DVR in the back room with a monitor and a keyboard so that the management and only the management can review it. You had to have a password to it.
And who is in control of that system, corporate or the store itself?
I mean, I had control where I could review video. I had passwords to it. I just couldn't burn.
You couldn't burn copies of it?
That's correct.
Did you have any ability in store to freeze particular segments of that and enhance them?
You could pause it. There was no way to enhance. No, sir.
What could corporate enhance anything?
I don't know the answer to that, sir.
Have you ever, you worked there what, 13 years?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever have an occasion in any type of shoplifting or other incident to enhance video surveillance footage?
Not that I know of. I've never seen it.
You would agree with me that it's impossible in the video footage that we have to see the individual's face, is that right?
That's correct.
Can't observe any details on the face, including facial tattoos, facial scarring.
From the video, no, sir.
Now, you indicated that on previous occasions you've had incidents where you encountered Ms. Martin, is that right?
That is correct.
And you personally interacted with her on those previous occasions?
That's correct.
How many occasions would that be?
At least 3, and I believe more than that, but at least 3.
Were those documented anywhere?
At least 2 of them were criminal trespass warnings were issued.
Well, I understand you don't work at Academy anymore, but is there any documentation of that? Would there be any documentation?
Yes, sir.
And who would be the custodian of those documents?
Whoever the store manager is right now, I think that's Miss Quick.
So as a custodian of documents, you would have access to documentary proof of the times that Ms. Martin had interacted previously with.
I believe so.
But you personally have specific recollection of actually having face-to-face contact with Ms. Martin at Academy,
Yes, sir.
at least 3 occasions.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with the first one. Do you recall approximately when that was?
I don't remember what year. It was several years before.
Before 2020?
Yes, sir.
You say several, does that mean 4, 5, 3, 10? I mean, just ballpark.
Like I said, at least 3 that I can remember.
So we'll just taking it 3, I'm not gonna hold you to that, but just asking 3, approximately 3, that would be what, 2016, I guess, thereabouts, the first time?
Possibly, but I don't remember for sure.
Could have been before, could have been after, right?
Yes, sir.
But about 2016.
Maybe, yes, sir.
On that occasion, what was the context of the interaction?
That one, I believe she was on criminal trespass by the police department.
Okay, you personally saw her, right?
Yes,
How would you describe her physical appearance?
I mean, she looks like she does now.
Okay, same,
Yes, pretty much.
all right, same facial tattoos, same, basically what you remember, is that
I
right?
believe so.
What about the next time?
The next time that I remember was a different incident. She was in the store with several other people. We had her criminal trespassed again.
And again, you saw her, and you laid eyes on her.
Yes, and the police department responded.
And you have personal knowledge of her appearance. is that right?
Yes,
In that incident. And that would have been, I guess, after 2016, but before 2019.
I'm completely honest. I don't remember the year.
Well, it was after 2016, right? Or it could have been 2016, 2015. Before
I
2019.
believe it was more recent than that.
Okay. Before June of 2019.
I don't remember.
It's
2020 was this incident. I don't remember what the year was before.
June,
that.
June 19th of 2020.
Yeah, it was before that. Yes, sir.
Before that. And again, her appearance, same as today, right?
To what I can tell.
And the third occasion, what was that?
That was this, well, this would, the third one, I guess, would be us calling the police for this one.
Okay, so 2 prior incidents where you laid eyes on her that you can recall?
Did I recall? Yes, that where police were called and it was documented.
And to be clear, none of those resulted in theft charges or any kind of charges being brought against you, is that right?
I don't think so, no, sir.
So in court, you've been able to say that after reviewing the video surveillance footage and looking at Ms. Barton in court, it's your opinion that the person depicted in stage 1 is the same person sitting at the defense table.
It is.
That's your opinion? right?
Yes, sir.
Were you working June 20th the next day?
I don't think I worked that day.
Do you recall?
I don't know for sure, no, sir. It's been 3 years.
I understand. If you had been working the next day, would you have recalled if Ms. Barton had come to the store?
I mean, if I saw her,
Well, on June 20th of 2019, was there an active trespass warning against her?
yes, sir.
So if she had been in the store on June 20th, then and was caught, I guess, in the store, wouldn't that have generated a police report for criminal trespass?
If the person recognized, yes, sir.
So if someone in authority or in charge recognized Ms. Barton to be in the store June 20th with an active criminal trespass warning, the authorities should have been notified, is that right?
That's correct.
Would it surprise you if that were the occasion, the authorities weren't notified on June 20th that she was in the store?
Well, I can't speak to it because I wasn't there or I wasn't involved in seeing her if she was.
Okay, would it be store policy that if she had an active criminal trespass warrant and appeared on premises that the authorities will be notified?
Yes, that would make sense.
Well, is it the policy?
It is.
So if somebody didn't report it, it would be in violation of store policy, right?
Yes, sir.
So we could expect that if Ms. Barton was in the store on June 20th of 2020, that there, and she was observed and noticed and detained, that there would have been a police report. You know, anything else?
I have no way of knowing if I didn't do it myself.
Well, it should have been, is what I'm saying, that it should have been, there should have been a report.
If somebody saw me that had the authority to do that, yes.
Saw her and,
If somebody saw Ms. Barton
okay,
and they knew, yes, it should have been reported.
all right. Approach.
Yes,
I'm going to show you what appears, what previously marked as defense 1 and 2. Would you agree with me that these 2 photographs fairly accurately depict an enhanced or blown up still photograph of the individual depicted in State's Exhibit 1?
I mean, it zoomed in, doesn't seem enhanced.
Zoomed in, I'm sorry, I mean, I misspoke. It zoomed in.
Yes, sir.
So you don't have any quarrel with these, with the assertion that these fairly and accurately depict what is depicted in State's Exhibit 1 as that being the individual that is alleged to have shoplifted the coolers, is that right?
That's correct.
Does your equipment have the ability to produce images like this or not?
I honestly don't know. I didn't have access to blow things up in front of them.
What's the difference? I think you indicated there seems to be a difference between enhanced and blown up. What's the difference? Your understanding?
Well, I mean, enhanced would be adding detail to the picture, which this is not.
Okay. Does this person appear to have any type of tattoos on their neck?
I honestly can't tell from this
Can't tell.
picture.
Okay. And can't see the face, and
No, sir.
or I suppose
Very
Make
little,
that
very
very-
little, and it's blurry.
distorted, I guess.
Yes, sir.
So you don't have any quarrel that the person depicted in defense 1 and 2 is the person that's depicted in the States 1, the person that.
No, sir.
So looking at States 1, you're able to say, it's your opinion, give your opinion, that States 1 contains images of the defendant, Ms. Barton, stealing those 2 coolers, is that right?
It's correct.
What are you basing that identification on? Is there something distinctive about the way the person walks or is dressed or appears? And what is it that allows you to look at States 1 and come to the conclusion that it depicts this individual? Outside of what somebody else has told you.
He typically wore the same type clothes, the torn jeans. She always had a hat on, always held her head down when she walked in the door past the cameras when she did this stuff
Well, has she stolen from you before?
many times.
Well, why wasn't there any reports to or any charges?
There was many times that we could not get officers to the building in time before they left.
So you're certain that it's her. It's not just guesswork based upon it could be the same person.
It's my belief that it's her, yes, sir.
What is it that he said her? The cap, looking down, the torn clothes, what else?
I mean, those things there, the build,
The what?
the build of the person, all of it together, that's what I believe.
Ask what?
Mr. Hilby, you may proceed.
Start off, first, you were certain that the video in States 1, depicts Ms. Barton, correct?
That's my belief, yes, sir.
And there appear to be, as we've shown you on the screens, no alterations to that video.
That's correct.
Now, can you tell me if your store security software would, when viewing a video, allow you to pause that video and, like zoom in on that video?
You could pause the video for sure. You could zoom in some, but on the monitors we had, it didn't help anything. It was very blurry.
But someone could, if they felt the need to, or if they felt it would, assist in their ability to, see who someone was, they could zoom in on video with your software.
I honestly don't know what they had the capability of in the corporate office. He says zooming in wasn't usually helpful on our computer system.
So, regardless of whether it was helpful, could it be done?
Yes.
Okay. And you were, you just went through a couple, instances with Mr. Himmler. The trespassing incidences, that occurred at your store involving this button. On those occasions, do you remember why specifically she was trespassed?
Because she was attempting to take things, and when we confronted her, she'd actually put them down and try to leave the store.
So this happened on several different occasions,
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Kimler also mentioned a criminal trespass warning from 2019. Is that also the case in that incident?
Yes, so there was at least 2 criminal trespass warnings. I'm not sure of the dates.
Okay. And in addition to your experience with her from those incidences, or rather because of those, prior instances, you've gotten to know, Miss Barton's build, her usual behaviors, her usual clothing, and her movement.
Yes, sir.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but those are the bases by which you, how you determine that it is in fact Kimberly Barton on the video that's in Statesville.
Yes, sir.
Now, when police were called out, regarding this case, was there another incident, that the police were called out for?
I'm not sure.
So there was not so you don't recall if there was an additional incident beyond the one that was on the 19th?
I am not sure about that, no, sir.
Okay. So just to be clear, there was no further incident, a couple days after the initial incident?
Not to my recollection that I know of.
No further questions, state possible.
Okay. May this witness be excused, state and defense.
Have his number, Judge.
I don't anticipate recalling.
We asked the police and they call.
Okay, Mr. Golden, you may step down. And you are excused. You have a blessed day.
Thank you, sir.
Bill, you can call your next witness.
State Health Sergeant Adam Reader.
Adam Granger. Sergeant Granger, you come forward. Sergeant Granger, would you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, you may take the witness stand, and you can adjust the microphone. Mr. Hoover, you may proceed.
Thank you, Don. Good afternoon, Sergeant Granger. Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
Yeah, Sergeant Adam Granger, currently with the Bridge City Police Department.
So you are currently with Bridge City, but have you ever been with the Port Arthur Police Department?
Yes, sir.
How long were you with Port Arthur?
I was hired in 2017 and I left there in 2020.
Were you still with that agency, Port Arthur Police Department, in June of 2020?
Yes, sir.
So at that time, were you a sergeant or did you have a different role?
No, sir, I was just on patrol.
And as a patrol officer, what type of training and experience did you need? were to be one?
So you would go to a police academy, and once you graduate there would be a training program within the department for roughly few months or so.
And as a patrol officer, what were your regular duties?
Conduct traffic stops, investigating crimes, all the city, and prevent crime as well.
So you would respond to calls to the Port Arthur Police Department.
Correct.
And do you recall responding to a call at Academy in Port Arthur on June 22nd, 2020?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall what the reason for that call was?
Yes, there was in reference to reporting about that.
And while you were investigating that incident, did you have your body worn camera on?
Yes, sir.
May I approach?
Yes, you may.
What I'm showing you now is Mark State's Exhibit 2. Do you recognize it?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me what that is?
That is a flash drive with a video from my body cam.
And have you had a chance to review that video?
Yes, sir.
Is it a fair and accurate representation of what occurred on that day?
Yes, sir.
This time, state would offer State's Exhibit number 2.
Skimmer?
Your Honor, it contains hearsay, talking about it, there's statements other than his on there that it's hearsay, violates the right to confront and cross-examine. Also, after approaching law additional objection.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, there's a matter that needs to take place outside of your presence. So please follow the bailiff into the hallway.